What if I told you that you could make YouTube videos with zero editing that still brought you in views, leads, and sales? Let me put on screen a few examples of videos that I've made with zero editing that have done all of these things. The only thing that you need to be able to do this is to speak continuously on camera for about 10 minutes. And if you're looking at me like I'm crazy right now thinking, I am never going to be able to do that, Thomas, let me reassure you, this is totally possible. I used to never be able to hold a train of thought for more than 20 seconds or even 5 seconds on camera when I first started out. And now I'm making this video in one take, showing you how to make a one-take video that's going to grow your business. So let's crack into this. There are 3 problems that you're going to come up against when you are making a 10-minute video speaking continuously. And the first one is you're going to be thinking, I'm just going to ramble. I'm going to go down rabbit holes. I'm not going to be able to keep my train of thought. The second one is you're going to be thinking, okay, but what if I get 3 minutes into the video and it was really good, and then suddenly I freeze up and I lose my train of thought? What do I do then? And the final one is, okay, I might be able to understand those 2 once I explain them, but actually, is this whole concept not just going to be really boring? Like, how am I going to hold somebody's attention for 10 minutes? Is this even a good idea when I could write a script and be super psychologically hacking my viewer's brain to keep their attention? Like, how am I going to keep their attention without doing that? In this video, we're going to address all of those 3 problems and present 3 solutions that will help you see the light and be able to actually start doing this yourself. So, rambling. How do you not ramble when you are making a one-take video? Think of your YouTube videos like you are a tour guide. When a tour guide is giving his city tour people a tour of an ancient Roman city, for example, and he's going down the street and he spots a street sign and he thinks, oh, I know the history of this street. This is going to be amazing. I'm going to tell them the story of how this political situation unfolded on this beautiful sunny Roman street. And he's talking you through and you're thinking, this is fascinating. This is exactly what I came here for. I wanted to learn about history in this beautiful city. Great. Then the tour guide sees a cafe opposite and he knows all of the history of that cafe as well. So he just starts talking about the history of the cafe. Oh, it's a family-run cafe, a family-run business. They started it 200 years ago. And you're thinking, wow, this is super interesting. I love this. And that's because the city tour guide has one purpose, a very clear purpose, which is to allow you to enjoy the city whilst learning about that city. Like, that's pretty much it. If that is his purpose, when he goes out of that purpose and starts talking about what he did last night, how his wife bought a nice dress, and how he's been drinking too much beer recently and he needs to cut down, you're going to start thinking, okay, this is off topic. I wanted to learn about the city and the history of the city whilst enjoying myself, and now he's talking about his drinking problem. That's off topic. I don't want to learn any more about that. You need to see yourself as the same thing. And instead of having your city guide purpose as your purpose, obviously, you're going to have your mission as your purpose about why you're doing this YouTube channel in the first place. So in your video, let's say that your purpose is mine, which is I help people speak more confidently and coherently on camera and YouTube so they can have a better time doing it and get better results. Right? That's what I'm doing. So as long as in this video, I'm teaching you how to do that, I'm not rambling. Even more specifically, you can do a title check, which is coming up with an amazing, bold idea as a title, right? And then as long as you are paying off what you have said in that title throughout your video, then you're not rambling. So you have your title in your mind before you make the video, and whilst you are recording the video, you're going back to that title and thinking, am I off track with this title? If not, you are not rambling. That is the ramble check. We call it the title check. In a video planning system that I use called the anti-script planning system, we have the title and the purpose as the first thing we put on every single video. And this is why. Because if you're not clear on that, then you're going to go off topic. If you want to download that video planning template in the description below, it's called the anti-script method or the anti-script planning document. Download that and it will show you, walk you through some of these techniques on how to actually make one-take videos or planned out videos that don't use a script. The next problem is losing your train of thought and freezing up. So you've been doing your video for like 3 minutes and you think, oh God, I forgot what I was going to say next. What do I do? I just have to start again. Press stop and go right back to the beginning. You've got to think of yourself and making YouTube videos like riding a bike. So let's say you're learning to ride a bike. You're pedaling down the street, feeling good, and then you start slowing down because you kind of forgot to pedal for a bit, and the bike starts wobbling. It's wobbling, it's wobbling, it's wobbling, and eventually, what do? Do you get off the bike, go back to the beginning of wherever you started your trip, get on it again, and start pedaling? No, of course you wouldn't do that. Well, that's the equivalent of starting to lose your train of thought and then pressing stop and going back to the beginning. What do you do instead when you're riding a bike? Well, obviously, you keep pedaling. And that forwards momentum is what helps you regain your balance. When you speak to camera, especially for one-take videos, if you start losing your train of thought, you gotta just keep going, keep pedaling, and that forwards momentum is what will help you regain your train of thought and your balance when you are on camera. The key thing to do here is when you lose your train of thought is just keep talking and focus your mental attention on the words coming out of your mouth. What happens when you lose your train of thought is you stop being in the flow and the moment, being with your speech, and instead you go into your head and you're talking and you're thinking, oh shit, I can't remember what I'm talking about. Oh God. And that's fine. Like that happens to the best of us, right? We'll start thinking that. But the key is to then consciously redirect your attention into the words that you are saying. And you will do that for probably about 5 seconds tops or 10 seconds until you regain your train of thought and you can just keep going. I can't tell you the amount of times where I've been thinking, oh shit, I don't know what I'm saying, and I'm still talking. And then I've watched that section back, like that 20-second section back, and thought, oh, thank God I kept going there, because that was actually pretty good. Because my words weren't just coming from my coherent thinking, they were coming from my mouth, and they were probably coming from my gut. They were coming from my body, my nervous system. It was taking over whilst I was trying to process the next thing to say. And this skill is what builds you the ultimate confidence when you're speaking on camera. It is confidence with your ability to improvise. This shit translates into speaking on stage, Zoom calls, sales calls, anything. Is just your confidence to keep going when you've lost your train of thought. It will make your confidence unshakable. The next problem that we need to address is you feeling boring when you're talking to camera. And even going into it, feeling like no one's gonna watch this. Let me present the solution to you. When you were at school, you had your favorite teachers and teachers that you just found completely boring and you probably hated being in their class. The ones that you hated being in their class, they probably couldn't hold your attention for literally 2 minutes. Like everyone knew, as soon as this teacher starts talking, they're already fidgeting with their pens, throwing paper at somebody, and sending messages to girls they liked or whatever. They're just not paying attention to the teacher. And the teacher's getting agitated, or they're just submitting and thinking, oh, no one listens to me anyway. And that's it. Think about the difference with a great teacher, one of your favorite teachers. They were likely somebody who could speak into the room, leave a really nice, delicious 3-second pause to allow you to digest what they just said. No one in the room peeps. They're hooked on every word. And then they keep talking again. And they have the ability to do that for an entire hour. So you need to reframe what you are thinking a one-take video is. And rather than trying to enrapture people's attention, you want to be holding the room like your favorite teacher did at school. Don't be afraid of pausing and welcome people in to your vibe and your frame. I have a concept that I teach that's often called holding the frame. It's not often called holding the frame. It is called holding the frame. And what you do when you hold the frame is you keep your frame of reality dominant over either the other person or yourself. And let me explain what I mean by that. If you're talking to another person and that other person is, let's say they're questioning if you are cool or not. Right, this usually happens at school. It probably doesn't happen much now, but well, maybe it does. Let's say you're at school anyway, back to the teacher example. And they're like, is this person cool? I'm gonna like poke them to see if they're cool. So I'm gonna throw a playful insult. And if that person who's like pretending to be cool, all of a sudden loses their cool and thinks, oh God, oh no, they said something mean and I don't know what to do, then you're automatically not cool anymore. You've lost your frame. But if that person throws the playful insult, and even if you think, oh God, that wasn't very nice, but you hold the frame and you still hold that frame of I am cool, how would you react? You'd probably react very differently. You'd probably either say nothing and give them like a, what was that anyway, look, or you might smile and laugh along and think, that was pretty funny. Or you'd say something back to teasefully, to playfully tease them back, and then it would pass, it'd be great, right? And so the same thing when you're making a video, except it's not that the other person you're battling against, because there's no one else in the room. You're actually battling against yourself. And so if you're holding the frame as the teacher, right, instead of anyone else testing you and thinking, are you actually engaging right now? Are you cool? Are you whatever? You're holding the frame. Those thoughts are the thing that's testing you. So it's your own thought. It's when that 3-minute mark comes and you think, oh God, what am I going to say next? Oh, this is shit. I'm boring everyone. This is not good. You're holding the frame against your own thoughts. And you're saying, keep going. I still got this. Even though this silly thought is saying something, I'm still going to keep talking and I'm still owning the frame. That's how you stay engaging on camera throughout a 10-minute video that doesn't have any editing. If you solve those 3 problems, you are well on your way to speaking like a pro for 10 minutes and not having to edit your videos. Awesome. If you want a guide on how to plan out videos in this one-take style, the anti-script planning document is in the description below. Excuse me. You can get that, it's totally free, and it will help you plan out videos. I've had clients who have said they've used that for months and it's really helped. So I hope that helps you. And if you want to watch a video that helps you remove forever from your vocabulary, watch this video next.